So now let's discuss what is inductor. So inductor is a passive element designed to store energy in magnetic field. So as you can see, the difference between the inductor and the capacitor is that ang capacitor natin is nag-store ng energy through electric field, while for inductor, it store energy through magnetic field. And also, yung capacitor natin is a parallel plates that stores energy, and while for inductors we have consist of coil conducting wires. So ang inductor natin is para siyang coil. So let's have this one. So we have this one. Ito yung coil natin, and these are the example of a inductor. We have toroid and we have this one. Ito yung toroid. Ito yung typical na inductor, and also ito yung process na inductor. So, ganun yung pinagkaiba nila. So, while for the capacitor natin, ang capacitor natin, we have numbers of example of a capacitor. We have this one. As you can see, we have this one. We have, ito yung mylar capacitor, or we can say that polyester capacitor. We have ceramic capacitor, and also we have the electrolytic capacitor. Ito is wala siyang polarity, while for this electrolytic, meron siyang polarity, meaning positive at saka negative. So now let's continue for this. So ang inductor natin, we have the formula for the voltage of inductor. We have LDI over dt. As you can see, comparison natin naman doon sa capacitor natin, we have current natin is equal to CdV over dt. And while for the voltage of a certain inductors, we have LDI over dt. And we have the unit for Henry, which unit for inductance of an inductor is Henry. And we have this formula. Kung gusto mong kunin mo naman yung inductor ng certain coil, example, if you have a certain coil na gusto mong kunin yung inductor niya, inductance rather, we have this one. You only have to do is, we have measure the length, have the cross-sectional area, and also yung number of turns. Ilang beses mo siya nag-turn. So, yan. So, now we have, note mo din dyan that if in capacitor, we have open circuit, while inductor naman is short circuit siya sa DC current. And also, yung current through an inductor cannot change instantaneously. Unlike doon sa capacitor natin na yung voltage niya, yung hindi instantaneous or hindi abrupt yung pag-change na ng voltage. So, let's move on dito naman sa current voltage relationship. So if we have DI is equal to 1 over LV dt, ito na formula is taken from this, kasi nag-separable sila. So ganun. So we have that. So we have nag-integrate siya from DI, nag-integrate siya from 1 over L from infinity to T V dt. So we have this one. So yan, ito yung na-derive mo for current if given is yung equation ng voltage. Now for power, applying yung sa VI, we have V natin is, which is ito, we have LDI over dt, nilagay natin dyan, multiply mo ng current, so yun yung nangyari dyan. So now again, for the energy of inductor, we have integrals of P dt, integrating from negative infinity to T, we have this one coming from here. So now nag-integrate siya, ito is naging 0 siya. Bakit? Kasi nga from negative infinity, ang inductor mo is hindi charged. So meaning 0 yan. So we left, energy natin is equal to 1/2 Li squared. So for a slight example, The current of 0.1 inductor is, current natin is 10t e to the negative 5t. Find out yung voltage across that inductor and the energy stored in it. So we have the formula that we have V L d I dt, and also we have given natin yung inductance ng inductor natin na 0.1 Henry. So we have, syempre, itong equation natin na to, we have I 10t e to the negative 5t is simply, i-derive mo lang kasi nga di over dt. I-derive mo siya with respect to t. So ito yung nangyari. So we have this one, i-derive mo lang ito, and you'll arrive into this one dahil minultiply na dyan yung 0.1, and there you have it. We have the voltage na e to the power of negative 5t multiply, open and close parenthesis, 1 minus 5t. Now, how about yung energy natin? We have 1/2 Li squared where we have plug-in values. We have 1/2 0.1 times 10t e to the negative 5t quantity squared kasi we have current dyan eh. So we have this one. So we have 5t squared e to the negative 10t joule. So since ito is hindi siya constant, meaning this is the equation for a certain energy at any time. Pwede ka magkaroon ng certain energy at any time. Pwede mong palitan yung t mo na yan. What if tawagin niya ng what is your energy in a certain time? Let us say 1 second. So yung t na yan dyan is papalitan mo ng 1 second. Then in calculator mo also this t din dito sa 5t, palitan mo ng 1 if you are asked on what is the curve of what is the energy on a certain time, that especially 1 second example. So ganun lang siya, i-plug in mo lang yung 1 second dyan, 1 second dyan, then makakakuha ka ng certain value for energy at that certain time. So how about another example on what is, let's try to have an example, integration of capacitor at saka inductor having a DC supply. So there it is. So if we have a certain equation or circuitry, this is our circuitry that we have 12 volts supplying a 1 ohm and also 5 ohms in series with a inductor. We have inductor na 2 Henry and also 4 ohms in series with a certain capacitor. So we have, what if yung capacitor natin is, let's try to put it to 5. So we have that one. So in this time, you are asked to solve for the current flowing in the 1 ohms at saka yung current na nag-flow dyan din sa 2 ohms, 2 Henry mo, at saka ano ang voltage dito sa 2 farad na yan. So now, sabi nga doon that if a certain circuitry is supplied by a DC source, ang capacitor natin is mag-open circuit, yung inductor natin is mag-short circuit dyan. So further simplification of the circuitry, ito yung kinalabasan, this one. Kasi nga, ito dito is magiging useless itong 4 ohms na yan kasi nga walang dadaan dyan na current kasi nga open circuit yan. And also, this one is pwede natin itong i-shorten kasi nga short circuit lang naman yan. So, whatever current that is flowing in this, the 5 ohms, yun na din yung mag-flow dyan. Kung titignan natin is in series lang sila. And also, dahil ang ito natin is in parallel with this one, sasabihin natin that whatever is the voltage of the 5 ohms, yun na din yung voltage natin sa capacitor natin. Kasi nga, walang voltage yung 4 ohms na yan. Bakit? Kasi walang current na nag-flow dyan again. So now, ito na, kung titignan natin, masyadong simple yung circuitry natin. We have 12 volts, 1 ohms, and also 5 ohms. So, kung makikita natin dyan, we can analyze this circuitry that we can conclude that the current flowing in this 1 ohm is yun din yung nag-flow sa 5 ohms. So, therefore, we conclude that the I is simply equal to IL. Yung current natin na I is simply equal to IL natin. Now, we will be focusing on this circuitry alone. So, now, makukuha natin ang current natin dyan is simply equal to 12 divide 1 plus 5, we have 6, so we have 2 ampere, which is also equal to current natin sa inductor natin. Ngayon, to have the voltage for the capacitor, simply, we have to solve for the voltage of the 5 ohms. Multiplyan mo ng current mo, so we have 10 volts. So, there you have it. So, we have that one. So, what if tanungin ka, ano yung energy na nakastore doon mismo sa inductor at doon sa capacitor? So, let's have this. So, yan. So, for the energy stored in each capacitor and inductor, we have that. So, ang formula natin is 1 half CV squared for inductor, capacitor rather. And we have the energy for inductor is we have 1 half Li squared. Current, ito is current yan. We have, which is Li squared to current to. So, we have 1 half, we have 2 farad, 10 squared, we have 1 half times 2, which is 2 Henry, at saka yung current natin na 2 squared. So we have, cancel out, we have 100, and also we have 4 joules. So yan yung respective na energy na nakastore doon mismo sa capacitor at saka doon sa inductor. So to summarize, yun nga, ang resistor natin at saka we have resistor, capacitor, and inductor are passive elements. So, ang example ng active element is yung supply natin. We have the voltage source. Yan yung active. The meaning ng active natin is siya yung nagsusupply. Passive is siya yung nagre-receive. Alam naman natin kung ano yung active at saka passive. So, ito yung kuan natin. And next, we will discuss na naman yung series at saka parallel inductor to be right. The next rather.